What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young, and I'm coming at you with a Friday freestyle where I want to talk specifically about an interview that I did recently with these two amazing women who are creating this really cool podcast here on the internet for free. The link to the episode will be in the description box. You can go check out the full interview. But I wanted to talk today about the sort of creative, entrepreneurial, kick-ass, project busting, go out there and live your dream, passionate side of me. Because I don't talk a whole lot on this channel about what it takes to live your dream, pursue your passion, discover what your passion is. And that's a huge part of me and my life journey and what I'm all about, and the work that I do one-on-one coaching with my clients. And I want to bring more of that to all of you. So watch this, then go check out the podcast, which is a much longer conversation. And these two fantabulous artists and creatives and badass businesswomen, I just love both of them, Asia Croson and Paige Poppy. They're so cool. And they found me via this channel. So it just goes to show you can connect with all kinds of people. But yeah, I was having this conversation with a friend of a friend a few days ago at kind of like a group outing, and she was asking me what I do, and I was kind of explaining it to her. And people are always a little bit confused and taken aback when I tell them well, I do one-on-one coaching, but then I'm also, I have a YouTube channel, I'm a video blogger. And people are always kind of oh, you have a YouTube channel, you record cat videos, I don't know, you do tutorials. And I'm no, it's not really anything like that. It's kind of hard to explain. You'd probably have to watch it. But I kind of see people's wheels turning. This one girl, I saw her wheels turning, but I also saw her get really, really curious. And she started asking me all of these questions about well, how did you get started in that? And how did you promote it? And what did and then now you're making this is what your business is consisting of? How did that happen? And I was well, it's a long story. It's hard to go into it. And I was you seem really interested. What's do you make videos? What? And she was no, oh my God, I would love to, I would absolutely, that would make me so happy inside if I could do something like that, but I'm just I'm not creative. I don't do stuff like that. I've always wanted to, but I just can't. Naturally, me being me, I was really? That's sort of interesting that that's sort of something you really, really want to do, but you feel you can't do it, and you feel you don't have what it takes, and you're just not that type of person. That's really what you think. And I didn't go into full-on coach mode because that's inappropriate, and we were at a social setting. But I did start kind of picking her brain about what leads her to believe that she can't do it, and why she doesn't think that she is creative, and what it might be if she started challenging some of those perspectives. Because I think that I live in a world where I'm you can achieve what you want to achieve. And if you want to do something, if you have an idea for something, if something calls to you, then who are you to ignore that friggin' call? What are you doing? If you have a gift and you're withholding it from the world, and you're not even letting yourself explore it and use it and see what it's all about, then that's a pretty selfish, unfair act, because the world would love to see your gift. And that's sort of what I ended up saying to her. I won't go through the whole thing, but at the end I was just if you make anything, I want to see it. I want to know what it is. And I want to share that same perspective here in this video with all of you. Because there's a feeling that, oh, there are people out there who are just good at creating stuff. They're just good at coming up with ideas for things. They're just better at that. And I'm not like those people. Maybe I'd like to be like those people, but I'm not. If you can sit in that space and you're comfortable with it, for example, I love delicious croissants. I am not a pastry chef. I don't have a strong drive to be a pastry chef, so I'm happy to watch people make amazing pastries and say, that's your thing, I don't do that. I'll just enjoy the delicious pastries. But if I'm the type of person where I watch people make pastries and I think to myself, God, those pastries look so good, I bet I could, I could probably, maybe I could do that. No, but I can't. They're really good at it. I'm not good at that. That's unfair. If it hurts me to watch people make beautiful pastries because I want to get my hands in that friggin' dough and I'm not letting myself, then that's a problem. And I think that we all have areas in our lives where we catch glimpses of people doing things that we want to do, and we tell ourselves that we either can't, or we're not qualified, or we don't know how we would start. But the feeling is the indicator that that's the direction that you want to go in. I remember before I had a YouTube channel, I used to watch a lot of vloggers. I was a big Jenna Marbles fan. And even when I started my channel, people would kind of reach out to me and be like, you kind of remind me of Jenna Marbles in like some ways. And I remember I used to watch people making videos, or I used to watch their content and think, God, I bet, you know, if I had a camera, like, I could do this. Like, I think I could probably do this. And for a good year, I probably talked myself out of it and told myself that I couldn't, and was like, no, but what would you say? And would anybody watch? But that feeling wouldn't go away, to the point where I would watch videos and get like frustrated and jealous and upset because they were doing this thing that I wanted to do. And that feeling is the fire that you need to like stoke and cultivate under your ass to lead you in the right direction. Because if you get like that girl that I talked to at this party, she had this glint in her eye that was like, I want some of that. Like, I want to do something, not what you're doing, but something kind of like what you're doing, something different, something putting yourself out there in some like kind of different way, like something creative. If you get that like that glint in your eye, that excitement, don't ignore that. And if it actually sparks upset in you that you're not out there doing that thing that you see these other people doing, that is a beautiful, fabulous gift, because it's a sign that you need to be moving in that direction. So ask yourself, tune into this in your daily life and notice, like, where do I get inexplicably sort of like jealous and curious about this other person's experience or what they're doing? Like, what is it that really kind of like wakes me up inside, and it's like a feeling like I want to ignore it because it's uncomfortable, but when I see that other person doing it, God, I really, really want to do that. What is it? Because it's not even saying that you're going to be that person or you're going to do that thing, but that's a step in the right direction. And talk to those people. Like, do people, this is another thing I'll say, most people love talking about themselves. And if you see someone that's doing something similar to what you want to do, and you know that person and you can reach out to them, the average person would love to have the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with you. Not always the case, but most of the time, yes. So I bring this all up today because I want us to start challenging the perceptions that we have about ourselves, about what we're capable of and what we can do and what we can't do and what we should be spending our time doing. Start looking at it from the framework of, well, what do I actually want to do? This is like a very, in the span of a lifetime, right? It's these short windows of opportunity that you sometimes get to explore and play around and try new things. And if you have a window like that right now, take advantage of it, because I totally believe that it's never too late, but there are times where it's easier to do this than others. So don't waste any more time. It's like that meme that you probably see all the time that's like, oh, like, oh no, I'm gonna butcher it. But it's like, next year, you'll wish that you had started today. Or like, tomorrow, you'll have wished that you started yesterday. And today is the day to start really thinking critically about this. There's no better time than to start looking around. Like, sit down with yourself, make a list. Who's doing stuff that I admire, that I think is cool, that I wish that I could do, but I'm telling myself that I can't? Get in touch with that, identify it for yourself. This is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna sign off. But again, I would love for you to go check out that podcast episode I did with Asia and Paige. I want to be talking more about projects, passionate pursuits, business, God, just working on doing stuff that you care about in the world, sharing it with others. So super duper passionate about this topic. If it's something that you would like to see more of from me, you can either tweet at me or comment below. I would love to get your feedback. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love to see you next time around. And until then, I'll see ya. Like, if I can find someone else, then I'll finally get to be happy. Yeah. Oh no, I think that's wrong.